Hey everyone, it's Dr. Marcus Chacos with Author Mastery, and today I want to talk to you about the curse of knowledge. Yes, it's very possible that you have this. How do you have that? Well, you're incredible. You're amazing. You know so much. You're a chiropractor. You've spent years at university learning, expanding your brain, becoming a knowledge bank of wisdom, and on top of that you do additional courses and additional training. You expand your knowledge base only to curse yourself with that knowledge in an inability to communicate with your audience and understand what it is that they need to hear. Look, got DD in the background, love my chiropractic, I love my chiropractic philosophy, but you know what? How we communicate that, how we educate our clients, we've got to have some ability to reflect on our language and our words, how we express that. Because the curse of knowledge, well, in your mind, you think that the patient needs to know everything that you know. It's not true. You also think that they understand what you understand. That's also not true. And in fact, this is a really interesting part. You may think that they understand what you're saying. Not always the case. So the problem with the curse of knowledge is we know what we know, and we look through the filter of that knowing, that understanding, that knowledge, and that collective wisdom, which is not what the patient looks through. They look through the filter of really not knowing very much at all, not understanding, having doubts, fears, uncertainties, being anxious about their health, being worried about not having to live with this for the rest of their life. So when we communicate with our audience, whether it's a patient face-to-face, whether it's within a book, we need to choose language that helps them understand and find a way to communicate the message on the level of their understanding. From an author's perspective, that means writing at the level of about year 8. The average 13, 14, 15-year-old. Because that is the average level of understanding of somebody within your community. Now you can write at a high level, obviously you've got tertiary training. You can communicate at a higher level. You've probably had to do presentations to get through your studies at that level of authority and expertise. But that's not how you talk to your audience. You talk to your audience in a way that helps them understand the basic and fundamental messages. As simple as, if you'd like to write a book in 30 days, I can help you to do that. We need to help you to uncover your niche, which is getting clear on what area you want to talk in, making sure we plan that writing, and then putting together a way to get the book finished so you can get it out there in print. Now, I'm sure you understood that message. Now, I could have worded that very, very differently, but I want you to get the message. Now, I know what I know, but I also know that you don't know what I know, so I have to communicate at the level of your knowing and understanding. And that is so important in writing a book, because sometimes people write books in ways that overwhelm the reader, create difficulty in understanding, and then the first thing that somebody does when you lose them in the writing of your book is put it down, and they don't get the transformation. If they don't read the book, if they don't finish the book, if they don't implement and apply the book, there is no transformation, there is no impact, there is no value. To maximize the value of the book, assume that they don't know what you know, and that you start at the basic level of understanding, build from there, and then grow them into the person that they need to be to make the choices and changes that are going to impact their health and quality of life. That is such an important understanding. And when you do that, when you accept that just a simple message is enough, and it will move them, then your writing changes to embody that. And your message simplifies to express that, and your impact magnifies as a result of that. So don't be cursed by how much you know. Think about how little they know and communicate at that level. And if you need help with that, if you need somebody to review your manuscript, look at the way you're communicating, then I'm more than happy to help you do that.